Hi, and welcome to this lesson. In this lesson, we'll be looking at dominant 7 chords and its related voicings. Now, how do we construct dominant 7 chords? You can see a dominant 7 chord as a major chord with a minor 7th interval added onto it. Okay, so in the key of C, for example, if you want to form a C dominant 7 chord, all you need to play is a C major chord, and then you add the minor 7 interval. And if you know your intervals, the minor 7 interval is the major 7 interval reduced by a semitone. So this is the major 7 interval out of the major scale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Okay, that's a major 7 interval, and if you reduce it by a semitone, that's a minor 7 interval. Okay, so if I play my major chord and I add the minor 7th, that forms a dominant 7. So a dominant 7 can easily be written as a 7. Okay, so if you see a chord chart and you see a chord like C7, F7, B7, these are dominant 7 chords. Major chord with a minor 7 interval added on top. Okay, so in other words, it's going to be 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, and flat 7. Okay, so let's see if we want to form an F7 chord. So I know the F major chord, so 1, 3, 5, and I know this is a 7, so I just flat it, reduce it by a semitone, and that's an F dominant 7 chord. Let's form another dominant 7 chord, like the C sharp dominant 7 chord. All I need to know is my C sharp major chord with a flat 7 note. Okay, I'll show you a little trick here. This is how I personally get dominant 7 in every key. I see the minor 7 note as a tone below the 1. Okay, so that's all I'm doing. I know this is the major chord, that's the octave. I'm just picking a note which is a tone below the 1. Okay, so that's that note. This is the 1, I drop it down, and that's a dominant 7. Okay, so if I go into any key, for example A7, all I need to play is A major. I know that is my 1 located up here, and I play the notes which is the tone below, so 1, 2, and that's an A7. Okay, so let's do it in semitone. So that's a C dominant 7, and that would be a C sharp dominant 7. That would be a D7. Okay, I'm only adding a note below. That would be an E flat 7. That would be an E7, F7, F sharp 7. Try to practice it like this. Okay, so you're sure you know all your 7s by heart. That's an A flat 7, A7, okay, B flat 7, B7, back to the C7. Okay, now let's look at what kind of voicings we can use if you have to meet this chord in a chord chart or you want to apply it anywhere. Okay, so let's look at voicing options. Now first, you can easily play it by playing the full chord on your right and then just the 1 and the 5 in your left. So you play the C dominant 7 like that, 1 and 5 in your left, and then 1, 3, 5, flat 7 in your right. Okay, yeah, so that's F7 will be like this, and then F sharp 7, G7. Okay, another option will be to play the 1, 5 and the flat 7 in your left hand, and then you can play just the 1, 3, 5 in your right, pretty much. So you can play the 1, 5 and 7 in your left, okay, and you play just the 1, 3, 5 in your right. So it's going to be something like this. Okay, you play a simple major chord in your right, and then the left hand has 1, 5 and flat 7. The third option will be to play only the 1 and flat 7. Okay, and then you play a 3, 5, 1. So So this is another voicing. You can try that in every single key. Okay. You can of course use inversions of the same dominant 7 chord. So for example, for the C dominant 7, okay, you can always invert it. You can take the first inversion of this chord, which is going to be by removing this note and taking it up, and that's going to be the same C dominant 7 or the C7. Another inversion will be this, and another inversion. For the F7, you can take first inversion, second inversion, third inversion. So Amazing Grace. So it's going to be a normal C major chord to a C dominant 7. So Amazing Grace. Okay, I'm choosing this kind of inversion because the melody says Zing Grace. Okay, so that's it. I need that note on top, so that's why I'll choose that. So Amazing Grace, how sweet. In that order. We'll talk more about voicings later, but try and move around and play every single dominant 7 chord on the keyboard. Try and be able to play them around a circle of 4ths and move easily so that you'll be able to locate this chord anytime that is called upon. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next lesson.